I have two books to show today. There are books about shamanism. Before I show them, I can tell you why. It was movies about losing weight before. I share with you the most important things about losing weight, and the next is just review these movies again and practice. But today I want to go a little bit deeper, and I want to tell you more about spirituality. First, I can share you something about myself. Like I told you before, I have PhD in psychology with specialization of psychology of religion and spirituality and social psychology. But I have also master in theology, in Catholic theology. But from beginning, when I decided to study psychology, my interest was really mostly in psychotronic, mostly in this what is between psychology and spirit, and we don't know too much about this. And part of my interest in both in psychology, in religion, and in religious science, because I have also postgraduate certificate in religious science with specialization psychology of religion. Then I study psychology of religion from both sides, from psychology and from religious science. And one of my interests was shamanism, and I want share with you part of shamanic knowledge from scientific point of view and from point of view of regular practice. But first, you may be surprised that I have master in theology, I'm Catholic theologian, and in the same moment I'm interested in shamanism, because some people thinking then shamanism is kinds of religion, maybe kinds of can be something in conflict with religions. It was maybe long time ago, then Catholic missionaries think like this, and they try to discourage people from practice, to continue spiritual practice, including different kinds of healing, practice of medicine man in North America, practice of shamanism in other countries. But today we know then this is not in conflict, and probably the best in this there are the most free and open people, like in South America. They accept religion, Catholic, Christian religion. They are really full of dedicated Catholics, but in the same moment they work to keep their own old shamanic practice, and shamanic practice is spiritual practice. In Catholic religion, we have both things. We have religion as a dogma, as a ethics, and we have also religion as a mystical experience, as a practice, as a spiritual practice. Then there is no conflict between spirituality and religion, because in every religion is spirituality also. And but shamanism is not religion, is I can say way of life, is philosophy, but for sure is also spiritual practice, and these kinds of spiritual practice which we can connect with every religion. And this is why, if someone have any question about this, from beginning I am explaining. This is why there is no in conflict for me to be Catholic who practice and going to church and praying as a Catholic, and in the same moment doing different spiritual practice, including Buddhist meditation, but also Christian meditation, but also exploring shamanic path. This spiritual, what is shamanism? Shamanism is kinds of practice when we are very close to Mother Earth, when we are close to nature, when we understand then there is no separation between human and nature. We never say human is different as opposite and nature is different, because human is part of nature. Human is integrate part of the nature. And maybe in the next movies I can explain what is special with being human and what is special in human spirituality, and I can tell maybe about people from different planets. Maybe we can try talking about this. This is still not explored enough in science to talking about this in science, but we can tell about this later. But today I can recommend to you, if you are interested in shamanic path, there are two very good books, which one of them, it was second time I bought this book, but in my life I have in my first language Polish before, now I have in English. I bought both of these books this month, because I give away this book in Polish when I travel more, but now I decide to buy this again in English, and this is Mircea Eliade book called Shamanism, and this is classic book, and this is scientific book. This is book academic, maybe, because in English we mostly thinking about experimental science when we have research explained, but this is academic book for sure. You can use this when you're writing in university in this topic, in psychology of religion, in theology, or in religious science, because Mircea Eliade is Romanian background, American university professor who worked in University of Chicago. He was professor of history of religion, and this is fantastic book, because this classic, very important book, showing different culture from around the world, and showing how much shamanic practice is similar, how much is part of human nature. And this is another thing why it's good to know these kinds of spirituality. And now many people are interested in shamanism, and this is fantastic book. I don't want to say more because this is short introduction movie. And another, which I never read, I hear about this book. This is Urban Shaman, but by author Serge Kahili King, and this is also very good book. Why? There are other books about, this is about Hawaiian, exactly Hawaiian shamanism. Why this book is good and better? It was another author before who wrote about shamanism, but was not this level. Why? First, he was adopted by Hawaiian kahuna, by Hawaiian shaman, and he learned this from first hand, from uncles, from father, uncles, and close family members, this way, and he learned this very deep. He know language, and he is able to explain this from very deep level. And another things, he is also psychologist with PhD, then he comparing this with Western psychology. And if he writing, he in the same moment, he writing what is different and what is similar between some terms, some Hawaiian native terms and words, and terms from Western psychology, scientific psychology. Then this is very valuable book. It's possible to understand a lot. This is only about shamanism in Hawaii, but this is which is a little different than in other places, but in the same moment have the same basic regles what Mircea Eliade writing about. Then, but is very good way to understand, I can say, our human psychology. Then there are books, and I will tell more about spiritual practice, about practice with connected to earth, about practice which making us more strong, powerful, and make us be more ready to do something good in the world, grow personally, and maybe teach others in the future. This is shortly to explain and say what can be next in my movies. Can be maybe in next movie about power places, about special places in the nature. This is everything today. Thank you for so much for listening. Have a great time.